wanna get high?
Wanna get high?
Hey,
LITA.
I already know, man. Welcome back.
Welcome
Back. Louis Key, aka Louis, aka Mr. Villain, man. I don't gotta say too much. Shout out to the Lonely Productions. But we got a special guest today, man.
Man, for sure.
Drum roll, please. Drum roll, please, man.
Nah, I ain't that special, man.
The last 3 guests asked for you, bro.
For real? Really?
Smooth,
Yeah, my boy.
Will,
Yeah.
and Walk.
Walk? You just had Walk? Yeah,
Yeah.
bro. I'm telling you, bro, I've been tapped in. I've been trying to tap in more, bro. Like, just to people around the city. But Walk, bro. Yeah, Walk, Will, even Smoot, like.
For sure, but we tapped into you, man.
Yeah, for sure, man. I hope, man, you know.
For the people who don't know, of course, go ahead and let them know who you are, man.
What's up, man? My name is Jalenn, aka Mr. LITA, man. All that, you know, production, music, art, even clothes to a certain extent, you know, just trying to keep up on the artistic side and everything, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now, before we get into anything else, like, comment, share, and subscribe on the video.
That, bro. All that. The support mean everything, especially from someone like me, knowing how it is, bro. It don't take nothing just to hit the like button, subscribe, all that, man. You know, I already clicked on the video, man. You might as well.
But we appreciate y'all for being here, man.
For real.
And dive a little bit deeper into it, man. Let us know about, again, a little bit what you do and where you from.
Dayton, even just in the Dayton area, I grew up right around the corner. Yeah, I mean, as far as like being tapped into the music, you know, just production, kind of on the old school side, but like even just trying to like dabble into the new school type thing, you know, just trying to keep it authentic, creative. I'm working on some other things like personal projects and stuff like that. Yeah, this next year, it's gonna be a lot of music for sure, bro.
For sure. Upbringing, when it comes to family, siblings, what was that like for you?
It was cool, you know, it's just like the way I look at it, you know, sometimes growing up, it was never the easiest. But it's like, you know, I grew up with 3 brothers, 1 sister, mom and dad in the household, which is a blessing as it is. But, you know, even just like growing up, you know, it wasn't always easy, but we made do. I feel like that's kind of how I've taken that into like my own artistic bringing, like being able to be resourceful, stuff like that. It was a lot of that growing up. Make do with what we have, but, you know, even if we didn't have the most, we still had something. You know, that's always God's blessing.
Yes, sir. That's dope. That's dope. And saying that, well, I should ask you, middle child, oldest, youngest?
I got an older brother, and then all the rest of my siblings are younger. So it's like I feel like a middle child in a sense, especially like with the age gaps too. It feel like I have an older brother, but then like my siblings are younger than me, and they're kind of more closer together than I am to them. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that whole dynamic can kind of get sticky, but.
For sure.
It's just personally the way I was more like bring somebody with me, you know, even if it's like family, not even just in the term like bring somebody with me, but just like making sure, you know, I'm providing for whoever closest to me as much as I can, just off the fact of like family, love and stuff like that. And like friends too. Like, I mean, it's just, I've always wanted to be that person. Even if I don't have the most, or even if I don't have 100% of what you need from me, like I still got you in some type of way, just so you know the love is there.
Love is the answer.
Yeah.
Sure. Is that the inspiration behind that?
Man, honestly, bro, like, you know, it's funny how like certain things kind of like fall in place, and in terms of just like, you know, how I've always felt in my lifetime, you know, because I had a really religious upbringing, you know, certain things happen with that, but I've never once questioned like how strong like something like love can be, or, you know, something like that. And I think a lot of people find that corny, but it's like at the end of the day, we only have so much time on this earth. You feel what I'm saying? At the end of the day, what are you trying to leave? You know, it's not always about instant gratification, constant stimulation, all that. It's like what you trying to leave. You know, and I think there's a lot of different forms of love. Like, even if you look at like the type of music I sample or the type of like rappers I listen to, they're not all like fun, or they're not all like lovey-dovey, but it's tough love, there's real love, there's like, you know, all that. So it's like, I think it's so many different more facets that it can be derived from. Just off the phrase alone, I was on RTA on the way to a Village Discount Outlet. I ain't trying to be a gatekeeper, bro, but yeah, I was on my way to the thrift store from on the RTA. You know, it was just like piece of graffiti art. It was simple too. It wasn't even like crazy colorful or nothing. It was just like, you know, Love is the Answer. I was like, all right, that's cool, you know. And then Love is the Answer was just like a clothing brand at first that I was starting to like, okay, let me just start doing this. I was in photography class one day. If you check my graphic design portfolio, it says all this, but I was in photography class one day. You know, I had the same type of font, wrote it out. And, you know, that's when I like start circling the first letters of, you know, the words. And then I was like, oh, like LITA. I was like, oh, that'd be kind of dope. And after that, it was just a blur. Like I couldn't even tell you the process behind that. I mean, there was so many different types of logos, so many different types of like whatever. And again, it was like a clothing brand at first, but I think once I start really getting into the type of music I wanted to make, because honestly, since like 2020, I was trying to make music. I released like the first beat tape by like 23. So it was like, I was grinding, you feel me? Like I knew that music was gonna be there eventually But again, it's just like divine intervention sometimes, how certain things align. And honestly, I can get into like days where I call them my boot camp days, when I was just in my dorm room at Bluffton University, like just doing beats, missing classes sometimes, like just doing beats. And like I would spend a whole day on a beat and it'd be trash. Like those are the times that I really was like, man, maybe I should just like put it to the side, leave it alone altogether. Cause like after a whole day making beats and it's like whack, I'm like, bro, man, like I'm low key struggling. Like I'm like, this is whatever. But I think those days really shaped me. Even though like again, sometimes I pray and be like, I know I can do this. When is it gonna be here? That type of thing. And you know, for things to align, a beat would have popped off at a certain time. Maybe there is no leader. Maybe there is none of that branding, something that falls through. But I think now the timing is immaculate in terms of like me being able to really latch on to my brand, push myself out there.
Family members, close friends, anybody you even seen on the television screen, any idols or icons you looked up to, or at least eras as well.
No, I mean, yeah, like I was a big basketball person, like huge basketball person. Like I played in high school, Kobe Bryant, LeBron. For a while, I thought like I didn't really look into the reality of like, you know, NBA and stuff like that in terms of like the numbers. Even like how I was just talking about the music, I feel like since the day I was born, anything is possible. The way that I talk to people, the only thing about it is you got to put in crazy amounts of work. You got to be able to wake up, get to working on your stuff. And that's why like even like with the music, during them boot camp days where I was just making beats that wasn't even good, but I was making them, I would wake up, bro, I don't even want to eat. Like I just want to get to these beats. Even with what was going on, like I had projects in mind. Like I was like, yo, I'm going to do this. I have like, you know, the project written out or whatnot. And even though I failed a lot in terms of like getting those specific projects out, it was like, bro, I'm going to wake up. I'm going to do as many beats as I can until I literally can't even keep my eyes open. Or like even at night, like I'll be like, I'm going to
real grind.
Yeah, real grind. And that came from basketball. There was days when I was in the gym, like no lie, shooting with the lights off. It wasn't pitch black, but it was just enough light to where I could see the rim. That type of thing. Because I felt like those were the things that I had to do. And even though those things fell through,
it's still that extra work.
It's still that extra work. And it was God's time. And it was like, I look back at my basketball days, it probably just wasn't in the books for me, you know? And like, I got stories and stories and stories about that side of it. But I say all that to say, I think a lot of people disregard the competition factor in music. Or not even just the competition factor, the grind factor of it. It's like the best artists understand when their music isn't good. They understand like, that beat isn't good. Well, it's mediocre. No disrespect, but there's other people who's like, well, this is decent. I just want to put it out there for the glory, for the fame, for the whatnot. And you know, sometimes it might pop off, but then when it pop off, that's when you get the artist that's like, they don't know how to pick themselves back up after a while. And they have that span, that quick span. Well, why don't they like me no more? It's because your stuff growing stale. You let yourself hit a ceiling. Me, I've always wanted just to push that ceiling as far as I can. Like that's when the whole Kobe, you know, Mamba mentality, like the idea of that is what I try to take with me everywhere I go. Is like, all right, one of the quotes I like the most is when they say that if you want to get to a place you haven't been, you got to do something that you haven't done. How far can I push that ceiling? How far can I work hard? Like on that side of it, like Kobe, Bryant, them type of mentalities where it's like grind. Musically, we want to talk about the production side, Kanye, Conductor, Alchemist for sure. Like those type of heavy hitters where it's like you can hear that they really care about the craft in their music. And with me, that's literally all I've ever like. You might not like my beat. You might think my beat is subpar. You might really love this beat. But I want you, after you get done listening to my work, I want you to be like, man, I don't care how I feel about it. He left nothing on the table. Or he was in an element that he really cares about his art. And I'm like that with art, music, clothes, all that. Like it's just like, how can I expand this to the most high?
Sure.
For sure.
And that actually makes sense. Excuse me if I mispronounce this, but is it Ashala?
Oh, Inshallah too. Yeah. And that was the one with Watt. And the first one, I mean, even just to speak on the first one, like I've been working on like my own stuff because I know for sure like I'm gonna have to get a little bit more like personal within my work. Even before the beats, you know, I was writing like crazy. I'm talking like 2020, especially like when the pandemic, and like even that in itself was a blessing because I was struggling crazy through the pandemic. But that's when a lot of those things grow. Through wisdom comes pain. You might not go through as much as the next person. I've never thought my problems was something because I still have a roof over my head, you know, hot water, you know, even when certain things like that fell through. it was like at the end of the day, I still got things to be thankful for. The certain things I was going through at that time and all that, it was like went straight to the pen, straight to the paper.
Inshallah 2.
Oh yeah,
One,
bro.
And then 3, Microwave, Senioritis,
Oh, yeah.
Shits and Giggles, bro. Yo, catalog is crazy, man.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that because, bro, what's my ceiling, bro? Like, am I just gonna sit here? Am I gonna sit here and make remix tapes for the rest of my life? And this is like everything, though. Like, I think this is comes down to the science of what makes my product better than a person down the street. What makes my product better than, you know, whose ever product? How can I give you something, or my brand in general? How can I keep giving you something you can pay attention to? Because a lot of people don't understand. Like, again, going back to what I was saying in the beginning, you can have a good ceiling, hot off a song that's like decent, but you know, TikTok was made to it and it blows up that way, and everybody love you, and you're just this and that. But like, there's always a down climb. Yeah, it was always a fall off. So you got to know how to pick it back up. Like, I gave him remix tape and beat tape. Let me make a comedy tape where it's just like comedians,
Shits and Giggles,
talking over beats or something like that. Sharpen your skills from a technical aspect. Like, you could really do some crazy stuff out here, like in terms of being creative. Because I think now more than ever, there's been like a crazy oversaturation of products in general. Whether you talk about brands, music, clothes, you got to be able to cut through the noise and be like, hey, I'm giving you something different, but I'm also giving you something worthy of weight. Thing is, bro, I don't think I've done anything that somebody down the street can't. Like, I don't got nothing, no talent. I don't possess anything that nobody else can possess, especially when we're talking about beats. Like, we can see LeBron go dunk over somebody and be like, man, that's like God-given athleticism and whatnot. But like, in terms of you just going out and educating yourself, it is so easy to do that nowadays. You just got to be able to look through all the BS, and you got to be able to look through the distractions. Don't do so much doom scrolling. But bro, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, especially like graphic design wise, is like the biggest tool that I've ever had. Music too. But when you can tap that vein of gold, like, priceless, bro. Most important thing though, you got to be yourself. You got to be yourself. You got to give people a reason. It sounds bad, but you got to give people a reason to like you, because it's like nowadays, everything is a purchase-based society. Numbers too. Why am I buying that? Why am I taking my time to listen to you? Because it's not like, again, this isn't like the 70s or the 80s. It's still like a crazy time for like purchasing and whatnot. You go into a store, grab a record. You have something on your hip 24 hours. You have this on your hip 24 hours. And you have access to every song ever made. Songs on certain websites that are unreleased. You have access to quite literally all the information and everything that's ever really been made in the world. You can search up history about the old times, or, you know, biblical times, or, you know, all that. So you got to give people a reason to avoid the history of the world to tap into what you got going on. And that's one of the hardest things ever, bro, because even like, you got to be humble enough to be like, all right, bro, we just back to the drawing board, or we're just going to keep posting this beat until it get hot. You feel what I'm saying? Like, you got to be able to humble yourself enough to be like, oh, they don't know what they're talking about. I'm just going to keep doing this same thing. Not only do I study the greats, I study people maybe locally, you know, with all due respect, like anybody who might not succeed as much over time. Like, I'll listen to their song recent and they'll be like, like, this ain't even, like, what is this? And then I'll go look 2 years earlier and they did the same thing. It's like, cuz you got to be able to address yourself. I tell that to everybody, my girl, my friends, like, bro, you got to be able to address yourself and look yourself in the mirror at any given time and be like, what am I doing? What am I doing wrong, bro? Because if you want up here, you got to be able to be like, man, maybe I ain't hit this mark. You got to go back to the drawing board and address it. You just can't keep, I'm doing the same thing. Like, why ain't nobody rocking with me? Because I don't know. Like, but you got to fix it. You feel me? Like, the whole thing is like me tapping back to them roots of my childhood where I didn't feel like I really hit the mark, like really like experienced that as much as I could. Same with like the Christmas beat tape. It's just like, bro, I'm trying to tell you, like, and that was like the funnest project I've ever made, because literally I just feel like a child, bro. But like, I think about stuff like that all the time.
So, all right, speaking on different sounds like alternative and just example, rock, pop, anything you got upcoming or any other sounds you testing out?
As far as like sound, I've really been trying to get more into like trap drum type of thing. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and say like I listen to that music crazy, but like especially high school, bro. Like, if you listen to my music now, or if you look through my like Apple replay back from like 2019, like, you would be so surprised that I listen to, like, I used to be on YoungBoy crazy, like crazy. Like even just recently, like, you know, trying to get a little bit more like Detroit music kind of into my mix and whatnot and really study those beats. And honestly, out of all the beats, those are probably the most fun to make, technical wise, just in terms of like mixing the hi-hats and drums.
Now, before we get up out of here, anybody in the same realm, area, or lane as yourself, got any wise words for them?
Just keep working, bro. Like it's gonna happen eventually. It's gonna happen eventually. You just gotta be able to go through all the mental anguish, settle yourself down. You ain't gotta go to the club all the time. You ain't gotta be amongst your friends all the time. All that stuff is so oversaturated. It's all about being better, all about the 1% a day type thing. Just stay consistent, and I promise you, bro, it's gonna come.
Brick by brick, keep
Man.
the main thing the main thing. Y'all
Man,
heard it
bro.
here from Mr. LITA, man.
Come on, bro.
Jalenn himself, man. Appreciate you for
Man,
sliding through,
man, there's no doubt, bro. Appreciate you for having me, bro, for sure.
Yeah, of course.
Man,
Shout out to
for
Wop.
Man,
Smooth,
shout out my boy Wop,
Will.
Dave, Brent,
Yeah.
Will, feel me, the Fab Five. I was gonna say too.
Michigan Tech too. That shit bang.
Yeah, bro. Fab Five, we going crazy, bro. Dave with the camera, Brent with the camera, Will with the beats and music, Walk with the beats and music, bro. You should hear it, bro. Cuz about to go crazy. We've been sending music since like 2020, bro. He about to go crazy, bro.
If y'all ain't seen though, man, go check out the last
bro,
episode.
go check out.
But before we get up out of here, like, comment, share, and subscribe
All that, bro.
on the video, man. Appreciate y'all.
Sure, man. All right, peace, y'all.
Peace, man.
Yeah.